Welcome back to Toledo's longest running 9 a.m. show, Good Day. So for 15 years, we've been happy to have Life Connection of Ohio take over our station for 24 hours. And folks who sit in this chair know all about heroes. Debbie Hilton's husband is a Donate Life hero. So Debbie, thanks so much for joining us this morning and sitting in the big green chair. And we know Larry, so dear to you. You two were married for 28 years. So tell us a little bit about your husband.
Larry was an amazing man. He was first and foremost a family man, loved his family, and always strove to help everybody, anybody in need. And so he was an outdoorsman. He loved the Buckeyes, he loved the Packers, he loved the Tigers, and he loved fishing and hunting and doing all those things with his sons and his family. And so, you know, on the morning of the accident, and when we prayed and prayed that Larry would not be taken from us, while we were praying, someone else was praying for that gift of life. Mm-hmm. So, we just thought, this would be Larry's last gift. He would always want to give his time and talent to everyone, and so somebody carries that part of him right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, so a hero. Indeed.
A hero.
Yeah, and just talking to you beforehand, 28 years of marriage, you two were together 2 years before that, so 30 years in total, really close to each other. And you talked about New York. New York was a very special place for you two. So can you share with our viewers how New York is still a special place for you guys now?
Yes, so I grew up in upstate New York, and we have a family, we call them camps in New York, but cottages, I guess, around here. Mm-hmm. And anyhow, all of our vacations, we would go up to camp in the Adirondacks, and we would spend time up there. Loved it, spent numerous vacations and hours with our children there, hiking the mountains and the high peaks. And so the morning that they harvested his organs, they told us that one of his kidneys stayed local, helping somebody locally, right, mm-hmm. Larry? One of his kidneys and his liver went to Indiana, which is where my parents were born and raised. And his heart stayed in New York. And I thought, his heart still beats on in New York, and my heart is always still in New York. So together, our hearts beat in New York, and I just find that so special.
Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine how special that is for you, just to think about that and the time you guys spent together in New York, and to know that his heart is still, like you said, still beating there. So for you, just knowing that Larry said yes to being a donor, what does that say about him?
That he, all along, right, wanted to help somebody in need, and he was willing to step up and do that and donate and give the gift of life. And so when I made that decision that morning after we got through the initial just grief and just tragic turn of events, that was the first thing. I was a nurse at the hospital for 38 years there, and that was the first thing I said is, we've got to donate his organs. Mm-hmm. What else could you do? But to donate his organs and make some peace and sense out of this tragic event that turned our lives upside down. And then they came and said, he also had that on his driver's license. So we were in sync together, knowing that Larry for sure would have wanted to give the gift of life to someone and change someone's life. He changed so many people's lives. People that knew him, met him, worked with him, were friends to him. Their lives were forever changed. He was just that kind of a man. He was just, as my daughter said, he was just golden. Oh,
that's beautiful. And still to this day, Larry is helping because his organs are helping others to have life. But in honor of his name, you all have a scholarship.
We have an endowed scholarship at Toledo, University of Toledo, where he worked for 26 years. So there's somebody, he used to mentor students in his department, and there's 2 scholarships there. One is for the athletics. They always called on him, his expertise. He was like, as UT called him, he was the go-to guy. Mm-hmm. He had questions, call Larry, And then there's one for the mechanical engineering department.
Yeah, because that's what he did by trade.
That's where the students that he mentored.
In the hero hustle.
In the hero hustle. So the first year that he died, that was the year that the Hero Hustle was born. And I thought, we have to have a team in his name. And I went out and I made T-shirts and gathered my people from work and friends. And from the get-go, we've been one of the biggest teams at the Hero Hustle. And we continue, and my friends and my family, my coworkers, they just continue to carry me, lift me, and support our family in this wonderful cause. I just can't say enough about Life Connection.
Yeah.
You know, while it's a life-saving, you know, while we save lives, they saved my life by being able to carry me when I didn't feel like I could walk. They were there to lift me and carry me, and they still do to this day. There's still some anniversaries that are so hard, and I can call Tracy on the phone and talk to her, and she can support me.
Yeah, comfort you.
Comfort me, yeah.
Yeah, well, Debbie, thanks so much for sharing your story. Sorry for your loss, but so happy to see how you're dealing with all of this and giving back just how Larry did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.